Hey, this is Ace the Real IntellectualRadio.com. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Everybody, chime in, chime in, chime in. We got a lot to talk about today. I know I've been in hiatus, but I'm back and I'm coming back and I'm going to stay in the mix. What we got to do and what we got to say, we going to. I got a few issues that I want to talk about. The trial of Derek Chauvin, 22 years and a half. I think it's not enough time, but at the same time, it's showing those racist cops that you can't get away with murder, you know. And I want to talk about his mother. Out of all people, his mother. Not one time when she was doing the impact statement that she even mentioned George Floyd. She didn't apologize to George Floyd family. Only thing she talked about was her son. He's not a racist. He was doing his job and this, that, and the third, but not one time showed no remorse for George Floyd's family. That was a sign of disrespect to me. It was a disrespect. Because if it was us, black and brown, and my beige people, I'm going to talk about my Puerto Rican people too, because they feel that they being ostracized because don't nobody mention them, but I am my Boricua people. Y'all already know how I love y'all. But anyway, my thing about that situation, she showed when she did the impact statement that she was a racist. She didn't have to call us out our name. She didn't have to point the finger at George Floyd, but she showed it and proved it in her response to the impact statement. And when a mother, I'm talking about not the daddy, but I'm talking about the mother, would not apologize for her child's or her grown son, I ain't gonna say her child, but she birthed him. But that shows me that it's hereditary racism. It's hereditary. It's embroidered in their family that think a certain way because of somebody's color of their skin. When she couldn't even look at them, she couldn't show remorse by shedding a tear. She didn't even say anything about George Floyd's daughter. That got me right there when the first impact statement was from his. But for that little girl to be that young, she understood the impact that her dad left on this world, in this country, that he changed the world. He did. Everybody got demons in their lives. Everybody grew up with some type of skeletons in their closet. So I'm not going to judge that man because he was chemically inclined or whatever. We all got that in our family. But he was a functioning father. He was a human being. He was a man. He was a black man. And for that to display on television, and the man lost his life. Before he lost his life, he was begging for his life. He was telling the man that he couldn't breathe. And I did not know this, but in the impact statement, the attorneys for the Floyd family, I didn't know that Chauvin said, yeah, you can't breathe. Are you serious? Are you really, truly serious? And for that man not to say anything or apologize to the George Floyd's family, he say he'll wait until a later time to say something to the family. That was your best time to say, I apologize for taking George Floyd's life. That was his time to at least show remorse. But 22 and a half years, I feel that is not enough, because if it was the average Joe Blow on the streets, we got 40 years to life, because they'll go by background. They'll go by background. They went by his background because he didn't have a background. And I still think that the judge showed biasm. He was biased towards Floyd because he didn't give him the maximum. Because they'll throw the maximum. Now, I could be a person that don't have no background, none, never had no police, and that's very rare for a black man unless he living in the suburbs in a quiet neighborhood and he tucking his tail. Yeah, I can see that. But I could be the average man from the hood, don't have a background. And somehow, some way, someone came up dead because of my hands. I could have been protecting myself. It could have been a fight. You know what I'm saying? I could have pushed him the wrong way accidentally. It wasn't intentional. But they would have still charged me with first-degree murder. You feel where I'm coming from? They would have still hung me because of the color of my skin. Don't get mad at me because I got melanin in my skin, in my blood. I'm a prodigy of God. You know, I feel that I'm one of the chosen ones. You know, I can withstand heat. I can withstand the rays of the sun. Don't get mad at me because God made me this way. If you got a problem, talk to him, not me. But at the same time, this man deserved everything he got. Now, but they're not going to put him in population. They're going to put him in an area where you got the Aryan nations, people that was cops before, security guards, or some average old white guy that killed some Spanish kid or some black kid, or maybe killed their kids, killed their mother. They still give them some type of reprieve in the prison system because you already know the prison system is controlled by racist people, from the warden on down to the turnkey, to the cook, the head cook. They're watching the inmates serve y'all. That's just like the slave master watching y'all picking cotton in the fields. Same thing, same situation. So I feel like she deserved. No, this is what she said. She said, when you lock my son up, it's like you locking me up too. You got some nerve, lady, to say that when here it is, George Floyd can't go home and hug his daughter anymore. He can't take her on them little daddy daughter walks and just talk to her and see where her head is at. You know, but that little girl, she gonna grow up knowing that her father changed the world. So I ain't gonna talk about Chauvin because you know he deserved whatever he get. I'm banking that he ain't gonna even last 2 years because it only takes for one person. I'm talking about turnkey to turn his back, and you got a lifer that's in there that's black that don't care about shanking him or choking him out until he pass out or break his neck. You best believe Bubba waiting to get his cornbread. Believe that. So, you know, I'm a safe way into another, you know, conversation that I want to have with you all. And you got to look at what's going on today in our own town. Jean-Baptiste Point du Sable, my high school alma mater. And it was a big fight this week about changing Lakeshore Drive to John Point du Sable Drive. Then it was a fight about Du Sable Lakeshore Drive. And Lori Lightfoot went against changing Lakeshore Drive to Du Sable Drive. And here it is. You represent the gay community. It was a fight to get rights for you all. And by right, y'all deserve the respect and rights because you can't tell nobody who you can love. You know, that's between you and God. I don't have anything to do with that. And for her to go against naming the first black settler in Illinois to do trade and sale with the Indians and the pink meat, y'all know what I'm talking about. And you won't honor that, but you don't know the history of what they did to him after the fact. Did you know that and I saw this on PBS, so I'm not just blowing smoke. I saw this on PBS. His great nephew was looking for his uncle's grave, his great uncle's grave, so he could bury him with dignity and respect. Somehow, one of them racist cowboys killed him, took his body, threw it in a pig pen. Then after the pig pen ate his body, they killed the pig and put it in a coffin and buried it and put his name on it. So when his great nephew exhumed the body, it was pig bones in the coffin. What type of respect did y'all give this man? You know, I don't know what's going on with this world. I know what's going on. The history is coming out. And the real history from the beginning. And the history that we've been taught all these years has been a lie. And I don't know what else to tell you all, because y'all see what it is. Y'all don't have to recognize racism. Y'all don't have to recognize that these people, we got our own people going against us for just naming a street or a patch of road. Naming them after one of the greatest settlers in the world that even got Illinois. Well, the Indians already had the land. They was already, them are the true Americans in my book. Every Indian tribe from West Coast to the East Coast, from north to south, the Indians is the true Americans, then us, because the Great Migration, the transatlantic slave trade, and all the above. That's why you got a bunch of black folks and Indian. They represent their tribes. We was built off of tribes, tribalism, spiritual and some non-spiritual. It don't matter. America supposed to be in the home of the free. We are never free. So this goes into what I'm about to say now. Juneteenth. Now y'all recognize 2 years later after the slaves was freed, y'all recognizing Texas was the last state to free the slaves. And it took a transition of military people, I don't know who, what, when, to come and tell Texas, let them people go. Whatever it was a war. And now y'all recognizing Juneteenth as our 4th of July. Because the 4th of July, it was just to liberate the North and the South and the Hatfields and the McCoys. That's what I look at it. You know, you can say whatever you want. You know, common sense is common sense. You know what I'm saying? And it's repeating itself today. Now, Juneteenth. Now, since y'all recognize that, what are you going to do after you give us a holiday? And then they disrespected our holiday because at the same time, they had the Puerto Rican Day parade and, they had a movement. And then the LGBTQ community had their movement on the same day of Juneteenth. So that was a sign of disrespect to me, not to them, for it's them representing what they're all about. But the point is, Juneteenth supposed to have been a sacred day for us as indigenous ones. I'm gonna say that. And now, since y'all recognizing this day, what are y'all gonna do to, I'm not asking for a big apology from Joe Biden or nobody else, but I feel like this, since y'all know that not only Black Wall Street, how y'all bombed them and through Rosewood in Florida, how y'all was treating the black folks there and taking them newborn babies and feeding them to alligators and things of that nature. Since we went through that trial and tribulation, and y'all recognize now, I'm gonna show comparisons. Here it is: the Jewish community got the most money in the state of Illinois. I don't know nowhere else. I know about Illinois because I work in a field where Jews run it. They got all the money. But you see 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, the commercials, the Holocaust. And I'm not taking nothing away from the Holocaust. But what about our Holocaust? What about all the black folk that died just to be treated fairly and with dignity and respect? So what are you going to do about that? Now, I'm going to say this: reparations. Yeah, we want money. Yes, everybody want that. Yeah, we want the dead presidents. Yes, but we also want free healthcare, free education, free housing. And I ain't talking about building no more projects. I want my house on a hill with the white picket fence too. But I might paint it black and red. You know what I'm saying? I want to own the land. I want my 40 acres in the mule too. I want 400 acres and 4,000 mules. I want to rebuild the generational wealth that y'all took from us, y'all stole from us. I want the people that invented, the original black folks that invented those inventions that we living on it today, to get reparations. The people that had us, for me to have the last name that I have, I want to get paid for all of my forefathers' struggles. I want to get paid for it in any which way. In any which way. Because we deserve that. Because it took from then to now, 2021, to recognize that y'all have done us. But then you hear white folks, well, we didn't have anything to do with that. That was back then. Let bygones be gone. Leave it alone. No, we can't. Because long as you're living good off your great-great-grandfather's wealth. You was able to get a high education. I worked for everything yeah, but it was so easy for you though. How many people you bumped to get to where you at? How many black folks that was in front of you and they passed the black folks over just to get you because it ain't what you know, it's who you know. See, that's the systemic. That's the systemic racism I'm talking about. Right now today. Now let me tell you. And I don't, me, I'm gonna show you an example. And I had to bring this up because I thank God for it. When the pandemic hit or whatever, and now it's to the point where the city is opening up. So I went to Alahi because I needed some help. I don't have money like that. Everything was closed down. I'm struggling, but y'all will never know because, I'm a man. I'm supposed to step up and do what I got to do to make sure my household's straight. But I went to Alahi. I gave them my check stubs. I gave them my 2 bills. I gave them my ID. A few days later, they called me and say, well, Mr. Wright, you make $1,000 too much. You have to be in this bracket in order to get this program. It's a pandemic. I'm just going by what CETA said and their rules and regulations. Okay, but you know what? The denial didn't come from CETA itself. They put it in the computer and they formulated or calculated or calibrated to see if I even qualify before they even asked CETA. You know what I'm saying? It's certain little things you have to go by, when they write down the information and they punch that send button and the computer send it back computer generated. It ain't from another person from the other side. It's computer generated because you have to meet a criteria in order to get help from the state. I'm talking about us. They denied me. And just yesterday, I'm going through my mail. I see a letter. It come from Alahi. I'm saying, why is they already denied me? I don't know why they sending me paperwork, because I'm already frustrated that I got these bills and, I'm trying to make ends meet. I got my own home. But, prayer works. So I'm reading the letter. The letter say, and not word for word, it said, you have been qualified for a one-time covert relief program that we enter you in, because you got to be on the disconnection notice, on the list and all of that, because light and gas is hooked up with the city. So that's how they know if that's how the big man in the sky is watching you. And I ain't talking about God, he already watching us, but I'm talking about the mother folks, they tracking you. That's how they track you, because you get in these programs, to try to get some relief. You know what I'm saying? So they said that I qualified and I was approved for up to $250 to $5,000 grant that I got from the government that pays your utility bill. I was struggling. I was wondering how I was going to be able to go through the window without these amenities, because you need them. But just to show you that they put black folk in front of you so they can't say racism when it come down to these programs. But here it is. They can get somebody from a foreign country and give them every program or some type of grant to them because they from a foreign country. Now, that's systemic racism to me. Here it is. I was born and raised in America. And when we try to get something from the government, we go through hurdles, red tape, or denials, or disqualifications. But you can get other people from other countries. And I ain't talking about just from Mexico or Puerto Rico or Haiti or Dominican Republic. I'm talking about those Russia, Venezuela, and them places like that. These people coming here only been here a year, and they get every amenity program grant to start their life right in the home of in the land of the free. But here it is. I was born and raised in the land of the free, and I'm still not free. They still got the shackles on us, because if we don't have those amenities, that means we lose our home, because the pipes are gonna bust. If you're in some type of government program like Section 8 or something like that, they're going to take it away from you. So that means you're homeless, or you got to shack up in somebody else's house and go by their rules and regulations. And you're grown. You can't be out. Here it is, you 50. They telling you got to be in the house by 11 o'clock, or you not coming in. But you rent a room or whatever. But you got to go by their rules, because that's their house. So my thing is with that, it takes a pandemic, some catastrophic, just to get help from the government. And that's a shame. When y'all already know, if it wasn't for us, you wouldn't have an America. And I ain't trying to hear Christopher Columbus and all of that. I ain't trying to hear none of that, because remember, it was a little black boy chained to a pole that actually discovered the land, that he saw the land, but it was already people there that was greeting them at the end of their ride. It was Indians already protecting their land, because they saw you before you came in, and they went to war. But you tried to make peace by giving them guns, showing them how to shoot a gun. But as long as you giving them, see, back then Indians thought guns was like magical, because you couldn't see the bullet, but you could see that person is dead. See, that was magical to them, but they also knew it was evil because Indians, they dealt with spears and poisons and booby traps and things of that nature. They lived off the land. You know what I'm saying? And it's still systemic today. All of that is still systemic today. And y'all got to recognize it. When they giving you hurdles and red tapes, that's the systemic racism. That's the things that gets my blood boiling. And that's what pisses me off with my own people. Here it is, you killing your own people. You giving them an avenue. You giving them reasons. It only take one black man to make all of us look bad. But when you got it repetitively every day, people sitting in their cars just listen to their music and not bothering nobody, and somebody just come up and shoot them. Some could be gang related. You never know. You never know what was the situation, but the point is, don't nobody deserve to die, period. Kids, grown folks, nobody. Because what you gonna do, you keep killing each other off, and then when it's time to really go to war, we ain't got enough people to stand for us because we didn't killed off each other. That's why they pumping them guns. That's why you can go to Indiana and get up with one of them old country white boys down there, and they'll give you a whole crate for $1,000 with no type of serial numbers or nothing. But y'all think y'all bad because y'all got a Mars bird or AR-15, an AR-14, a Tech, or whatever the case, a 40 cal with double barrels on it. Who you trying to hunt? Who you purging on? Because them people already purging on us and you helping them. You got to understand, when you grew up in a mindset and in a situation and generations and generations of the same teachings to now, and you wonder why our kids is being like this. You see 16, some 12, 13 years old giving their life to the state because they wanted to be the hood king. No, that ain't what it is. That's stupidity to me. And I don't blame them. I blame their mamas and their daddies. Because if my boys and my daughters out there doing wrong, don't call me because I ain't sending you nothing. I'm not coming to your trial because you know better. Y'all seen what I've been through. So if I pride myself and put myself out there on the line for you not to be like me, the best thing you can do is be better than me. I want my kids to be better than me so I can sit back and smile because I already cracked that dough. It's up to them to bust it in. It's up to you because you got your own mindset. You got your own. Can't nobody control this. A person that have Down syndrome, no. Right is right, wrong is wrong. And here it is, you competent times 10 and you still doing it. So I want to, give my condolences to one of my residents at Oaklawn. Clarence, his family, where he lost his son the other day on 79th and I think Fairfield. Him and his girlfriend was sitting in the car. Somebody walked up and shot him. So I want to, send my prayers and the condolences to him and his family. And prayer works, So, anybody y'all know that lost a family member to gun violence, say a prayer for them. Because they'll never be the same. They'll never be the same. Because don't nobody, no mother or father want to bury their kids. So I know where his head at right now because I was there too. We all experience that. Ain't no big eyes and little U's when you losing your child or a loved one that you know wasn't a type of person that had hurt someone. So y'all, y'all stay prayed up, stay motivated, and keep pushing because it ain't over. It's just begun. And I'm gonna say this to Lori. If you got anybody that know Lori that y'all know me, let her see this. Lori, Miss Lightfoot, Mayor, how dare you deny Jean Baptiste Pointe-du-Sable? How could you deny the fact that he fought for us? If you really think about it, he's the first Martin Luther King and Malcolm X because he cracked it open for us to even be. His mother was an Indian and his daddy was a African. That's how he was able to have even talks with the Indians. See, y'all got to go deep and find out the history. And see, that's the thing. The history that we've been taught, all of that is a lie. Now I feel like I need to go back to grammar school and high school and start all over again. Start all over again. Start it all over. Because I was led to believe, to think one way. And now here it is, I'm almost 50 and I'm learning new things and learning new history. I'm more intrigued in the History Channel and I YouTube a lot of things, especially when it comes down to culture, our culture, my being. I thank God that I got an auntie that actually did the investigation on my family tree, and I learned a lot of things with that. And now that I know these things, now I have a better purpose. I have a better thought process. And I'm not going to let nobody that don't look like me tell me that I can't when I know I can. It's my right. So yes, reparations is needed in all divisions: monetary, education, health, infrastructure, housing, and the list goes on and on and on. And yes, we want that money. I want my land. I want everything that you took from us. Anything that you made money off of, give me my chop. That goes for every last one of y'all too. Y'all supposed to demand that. And shouts out to Evanston, because they started it already. They spearheaded this 10 years ago. But everybody didn't jump on the bandwagon then, but everybody jumping on the bandwagon now. And long as we started, we keep the transition going. We're going to flip the script on them. And see, and that's why if you look at government today, they so scared because what all they built off a lie is finna be destroyed. Because now we're more smarter, we're more wiser, we're more prayed up, we're learning more. Because y'all put it out there. Well, when Donald Trump taxes came out, he only paid $750. That's somebody's paycheck today after taxes. Do the math. Now he's up under investigation to the point where he might go to jail. But it ain't what you know, it's who you know might try to change it. But criminal charges ain't got nothing to do with impeachment. He's a citizen now. Can't nothing stop him besides those people that was with him since the very beginning, because they They know the truth, but they scared that the truth is gonna get out to the point where they're gonna be the minorities, which y'all are already. But let it play out. You got to let it play out, because like, as long as we fight and keep making noise about it, it ain't gonna be swept up under the rug, because there's too many of us. That goes way back. We can get into parent plan, parent plan, wait, parent plan or something where they do the abortions. Y'all know what I'm talking about, because I don't deal with that. But you could go back to that where the lady was making contraceptives, where women right now today, young as 24 years old, with ovarian cancer, or they can't have kids. They was taking these pills. They was getting injections. They was getting stuff put up under their skin where they start losing their hair and gaining all this weight, making them look grown and growing in areas that a little girl don't supposed to be growing until they hit a certain peak. But it was speeding up the process, but at the same time, it was killing them because they couldn't reproduce. Johnson & Johnson just stepped up and said they taking all the narcotics that got these people hooked on. They all of a sudden they dropping the brand from the United States, but they ain't saying nothing about them foreign countries. But at the same time, they're not stepping up and saying that they was wrong. They said that they're not going to commit to wrongdoing. If you're paying so many billions of dollars for a settlement, what that's mean? When you're paying out your pocket, but you're trying to say that we're not going to say that we did anything wrong. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That you fighting a double-headed snake and a double-headed sword. And we got to recognize that. We have to recognize it. We got to fix ourselves before we fix anything else. You know what I'm saying? And I always say this: fix your household, then you can fix everything else around you. You got to deal with home base first. When you do with home base, then you, like a friend of mine, my girl, shouts out to Gloria. She said something to me today. She said, "You know what? You got to surround yourself with positive people. If you surround yourself with positive people, positive things happen. When you're around negative people, negative things happen. That's the reason why I don't go back in the hood like I want to, because of the simple fact you don't know what they're doing. You don't know what they got themselves into, and you just coming to hang out because you ain't seen your boy or your homegirls in a long time, and here it is, you get a straight bullet, you dead, and they got a chance to live again, but you dead, or you paralyzed, or something wrong to the point where you can't live a normal life. Or if you license to carry, you kill them. Now you got to go through that. You attempted murder and all of that. They'll find a way to try to book you. You know what I'm saying? You didn't supposed to have it in your pocket. You didn't supposed to have it in your car. This and that and the third. You didn't have it locked up. And that's a shame. You know what I'm saying? So, we have to think about what's going on in our household, and then we could be able to deal with what's going on outside that, and check your kids. Check your kids. Ain't no reason for no 12 or 13-year-old boy walking out in the street 2:00 in the morning. Where the mom and daddy at? See, them the people that need to go to jail. You need to make an example out of them, and then them kids gonna sit there like, where my mom at? Because what they gonna do is put you in a state. Now you finna get abused. They're gonna put you in with families that might rape you. Just call a spade a spade. You see, I'm not cutting no corners. I ain't sugarcoating nothing. Who am I? I'm just like you. Ain't no big eyes and little U's. I'm not a psychologist. I don't have degrees. I'm just talking to you on the real. Common sense. Let's have a conversation. How you feel, what you think, what you want to accomplish. See, you got to be able to get 10 things out of your life. 5 of them got to be the 5 PowerPoints. The other 5 is going to mend the PowerPoints. The 5 things that you want to accomplish in your life, you check them off every day. If you have to skip one and then come to the other for all them dots to connect, at least you're working to that main goal is to accomplish. My engineer Earl said, you know what? I said, I want to be my own boss. He said, your main goal is not to work for that person for 20 years. Because right now they're trying to take your Social Security. So you work for 20 years for nothing if they take your Social Security. But if you start your own business, and I always say this, an idea become a hobby and will become your business. An idea, hobby, your business. Because it's a thought, hobby, and on and on. Because you're thinking about it first. Then you make it a hobby. Okay, I know how to make t-shirts. But if you're really interested in growing that brand, you elevate the experience. You go back to school and get into graphic arts and things of that nature, or computer science, or computer graphics. You get into all of that because that your idea is gonna become a hobby, and then that could be your business. See, it's a chain reaction. Everything you start from here and then you end up here. And he said within 5 years, you're supposed to be able to have your own. The first 3 years, first year you might go under, but you keep working. Second year, you might be a quarter under. You keep working because you're flipping. You're flipping. That third year, you break even. Fourth year, you halfway there. The fifth year, you should be on your point. The fifth year, 5 years, you can make a 5-year plan. Make a 5-year plan, whatever it is. I don't care if you tying shoes. I don't care if you shoe shining. I don't care if you selling oranges. It don't matter. People laugh at you because you out there trying to hustle, but then in a few years, they're going to be asking you for a job. Because they envy you, or they jealous of you because they wish they could be you. That's where the haters come in at. Because they wish they could be you. You had the cojones, the galls to do that, step out on faith. Yes, you had bumps in the road, you went through trials and tribulations, but you didn't fall. You got knocked down, but you got right back up. Now it's up to you to make that move. Can't nobody tell you nothing. You grown. So I'm going to go back to the beginning of when I started this conversation about Derek Chauvin. What that say? What signal did that send to the police? I'm talking about the racist police, because we got some good police. I know a few of them. So I'm not, we need them, but at the same time, we need to uproot the racism. Because anytime something happens in your community, who come? White police. And they have one token. And I'm going to leave it at that. And if he say something outside the box, they're gonna hook him up where he lose his job. Or he do desk duty for the next 2-3 years. Or he might at the end lose his 401k plan. It's systematic. Systematic racism. And I'm going to keep preaching it because it's hereditary. It's been bred in us from day one. But they so manipulative that they put it in a form of government. Even the government was racist against us. So who government is it? It ain't ours. The young man that killed the little young white boy that went when they was protesting, that killed the 3 people, or shot the 2 people, one got killed. They hailed him as a hero. Here it is, a little young black brother was jogging through a neighborhood, and yeah, he was being nosy and seeing, the manifestation of how they was building. He never picked nothing up, but he was just amazed how they was building this house. And he went in there and got nosy. But here it is, 2 white dudes, cowboys, hillbillies, come out on the truck. Both of them got guns. They chased the man down. You got a cameraman, and I'm going to get it on footage so he can go to his little comrades at the bars, at them taverns, where they got the Confederate flag. Yeah, we got here. We got that dude. And, I wanted to use the N-word. Y'all know what I'm saying. I bet you they won't come around here anymore. That's what that was their intentions. But see, social media is social media. And that's what they hate. They don't have a control over it because They can delete it from one platform, but it can be on 50 other platforms. Now they can't hide it. Police been having cameras on their chest for the last, 8 to 10 years. But they had they got a way they can control it. Now you put cameras on them, soon as they leave out of the, as soon as they get on in their car and start driving, that camera records everything from that point on, from the time he punch in until the time he punch out, and he can't control that camera. Because without the camera, we wouldn't have the situation with George Floyd. That police would have been saying, they would have said that he did right. It ain't never right to kill anyone. Me, you, or nobody else. Ain't nobody God. A human being ain't God. Don't nobody have a right to kill nobody unless you're in danger. Your family's in danger. Your household is in danger. I'm talking about behind the threshold. Ain't no reason for you to be walking in the street with a big old 40 cal on your side, just in case. If that's the case, what you get yourself into to even think that way. Like I said, if you surround yourself around positive people, positive things happen. If you're around negative gonna happen. It could be against you or by you or to you. Either way, I'm that dude. I'm one of them. I used to be that. I'm not gonna say nothing unless I haven't experienced it myself. So I'm just telling you, I'm not finna do it. Nobody's not finna send me out there and do 50 years for, not even my kids, and they grown. You got yourself in it, you get yourself out of it. Because I taught you not to be like me. All the things that you have heard, the stories from other people about me, and the stories I told you, and you still tried to go and do something to try to, the negative things that I have experienced in my life, and you still tried to go out there to try to outdo the negative things that I did, you deserve to be where you at. Period. Because one thing I taught you to have common sense. My sons and my daughters know I'm not coming to no courtrooms. I'm not sending you no money. Don't call me collect. That's your problem. You grown. When you left out of my circle, you on your own. But for them 11, 12, 13, all the way up to 18, we got a chance to catch them. Because them the send-off kids that these grown folks are sending out there. Y'all see the situation with the 13-year-old boy. He had a gun. Yes, he threw it away, and at the same time he threw it away and he turned around, police shot him. And they held him as a king. What about Lil Yummy when he got killed back in 2000? I don't know if it was 2001, 2002, but you remember Lil Yummy? He wasn't number 13 years old. And some grown folks sent him out there. And look what the grown folks did to him. Left him up on the train track with a hole in his head. But you know, you got people today where that ain't got nothing to do with me. It ain't my family. But when it do knock on your door, you expecting somebody to tell you what happened. You expecting somebody to tell you who did it. You expecting the police to do their job. So you do the same thing for the person that you don't know. If you know something about it, say something about it. Especially when it come down to a child. Especially when it deals with our elders. The disrespect that these young folks do to our elders, I have to walk away because I'll go to jail or I'll be dead. Because I remember getting beat down if I said damn in my house. Split lips, black eyes, dings, and everything. But you tell me I can't chastise my child or I'm going to jail. Well, you might as well lock me up because I'm going to beat him down. And if you get in my way, you get beat down too because he going to know not to do that. And the way I raise saying in my house, they already know I ain't gonna do that. Daddy crazy. Yeah. Sometimes you can't be their friend. You know, you can be their parent. You can guide them. You can lead the horse to the water, but you can't make him drink. Now, if he don't drink, what he gonna do? He gonna get thirsty, and then he gonna dehydrate, and he gonna die. You can teach a man how to fish, but you can't teach him how to pull him out. You can show him how to throw the reel in the water and wait for the fish to hit the line. Now, bringing it in, that's on you. That's your strength. So that's why I talk to y'all the way I talk to y'all, because I am you. You are me. We are each other. And if us men don't step up to be men and be a pillar of this community, we ain't gonna do nothing but raise killers. Instead of being a killer, be a pillar. Be a mentor without mentoring. That means lead by examples. Sometimes you don't have to say something. Just say, come on, little brother, help me out with this. Especially some of you guys that got these little side jobs, pull one or two of them in there. Teach them the basics. Trash out first. You know, you work them. So, and hey, if y'all want to make some more money, y'all come back in the morning. But during that time, you got him for them little 8 hours, you work them. And at the same time, you teaching them how to be independent. Show a little work ethic without saying it. See, sometimes you can't just talk to these kids because they ain't going to get it. You got to be hands-on. Just like you teach a child how to play chess and you walk them through the steps and checkers and Monopoly, you do the same thing about life. You show them class 101. You got to give it to them in the real. This is not where you have to, back in the days, we sit at the table and we have discussions. That's them days over with. These kids are advanced now. Now you got to show them class 101. If they want to be adventurous, show them how to rock climb. Things that you ain't used to doing. Okay, we used to rock climb, but we used to climb buildings. We used to climb in windows. Now you can teach them how to climb for real. The safety precautions, what ropes to use, what not to do, wear your helmet. Back in the day, we was riding bikes. We didn't know nothing about no arm guards and head guards. We just got the bike and roll. If we get knocked off and get a gash in our leg, we go to the hospital, Providence, get some stitches. We back on that bike. But now you got safety guards. Okay, teach them that. It's very, very easy. And you don't have to talk down to them. Talk to them. Sometimes you might need to listen. Through the simple conversation, they telling you what's going on. They just indirectly telling you. You have to be smart enough to read these kids. But that comes from you being a friend. Stop going to the nail shop with them. Stop going to get your hair done with them. Stop going to get them little skimpy outfits with them, because as soon as you ask them to wash some dishes, they're going to call you the B word and tell you to go wash those dishes. Who you think you talking to? Now you're ready to beat her down or him down. You tell that boy to go empty that garbage, all right, and he leave it there and go out with his buddies. I get it later. Now you're mad because he ain't do what you asked him to do, because you his friend. You drinking with him, you smoking with him. Y'all talking to some of the same little young girls. Here it is. You grown as hell talking to a baby. That could be your daughter. Because some of you old dudes, y'all don't want no strong woman. Y'all want somebody that y'all can control. See, that's the difference. Because Big Mama wasn't going. And she was a single parent. So you don't want Big Mama no more. That image. Back in the days, my granddaddy said, get a woman that's the image of your mother. That's gonna love you and nurture you and the whole you did. Only thing different, you're marrying or you're courting her. But you want somebody that got some type of ramifications of mom. Especially if she can cook. Because you better not, don't tell me you can't cook. I don't want no Roman noodles. I want red beans and rice, great Noah. I want some turkey tail. I want me a turkey. I want all that. Because if you want me to be your man, I'm going to do what I got to do to be your man and be the king of the house. I'm going to bring the check home. I'm going to do what I got to do. I got to make sure the gas is on. I got to make sure the lights is on. I got to make sure we got gas in the car. I got to make sure the kids, if we got kids, we got to make sure. I'm going to make sure that. And if you help me, that's fine. But that's what a man do. He and not being controlling. Because at the end of the day, that woman is your third eye. If it don't fit with her, it shouldn't fit with you. Because she sees something that you don't see. Because you know we ride off of ego, all of that. Sister girl, she like, I ain't going for the okie doke. Baby, what you talking about? No. Is you gonna listen to me or you just gonna bump your head? Because I don't have no problem for you bump your head. Don't come whining to me. That's what that woman gonna tell you. Believe that. Especially if you 100. But see, some of these young ladies these days and young men, they don't even know how to survive on their own. They always being with this yes man crew. Man, did you see, man, I got 4 bodies. Yeah, you sure do. But then the young lady, girl, let me tell you, I'm gonna get my hair like this. Everybody want to be a Cardi B. Everybody want to be a Nicki Minaj. What about being your own woman and your own man? Shine a light on yourself by the things that you want to accomplish. Stop trying to be with the Joneses and be the Jones. And what I'm saying is be your own man, your own woman, be your own person. Don't go by what somebody else say, monkey see, monkey do. No. You come out with your own trend, your own diversity. Because at the end of the day, when you die, you're going to die by yourself. I'm just saying. If you go to jail, ain't nobody going to bring you a money order. Ain't nobody coming to visit you. And your mama too old to be going on them bus rides coming out there to see because you made that mistake. Don't call mama phone when she living off Social Security. Don't ask her to send you no money. You put yourself in that situation. I got a brother now, I ain't going to speak on his name, but he got 99 years and he called every day like he out on the block. But at the same time, you want people to transfer calls. Ain't nobody got time for that. You put yourself in that situation. You the one shot that gun. You the one killed that person. Because you could have simply walked away. But when you chemically inclined and you chasing that demon, this is what that demon do. You can't serve 2 gods. There's only one. And the one that you were serving was going up in your nose. And you was in fairyland. So you felt because you was sick, you supposed to do just take somebody else's stuff. People that work hard for theirs and you want to go out there and rob. And then on top of that, you kill them and then you kill a unborn. That's your fault. Did nobody tell you to do that? You did that. You made that decision. Now you reaping what you sow of the decision that you made. So don't be calling me thinking I'm gonna answer your collect call when I ain't got money like that. I'm not rich. So what you do to try to get yourself out that situation, get in that law library. Stop trying to finesse somebody and finesse those books and see what clause or what you can do to get your time reduced or given back. Anything else is I ain't got nothing to do with it. So, I'm throwing all type of things out there because this is what a conversation is all about. You know what I'm saying? A lot of y'all don't even have simple conversations. Y'all worried about what y'all gonna get into the next day. What drama? Catty stuff. Worried about the next person. How you gonna talk about somebody else and your skeletons in your closet ain't all day either? Stop trying to talk about somebody else when you going. If you ain't rich, if you ain't living right, stop trying to talk about somebody. Stop mind your business. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. Mind your business. Because when you see, like I said this before, I could say, well, I'm gonna bust Donald Trump in the head. By the time he get back to me, somebody came back and said, man, you said you gonna hit Donald Trump in the head, bust his face, kidnap him, cut his head off, and send it back to the Pentagon. No, and that's gossip, shenanigans. Y'all listen to this music. talking about Percocets and all of that. Who does that? If we went in our music industry, we went from uplifting to talk about somebody being a dope fiend, and you young, but you look like you young, but your face look like you in your 50s and 60s because you let them drugs swallow you up. And back then, it was more drugs than it is now. Cocaine and heroin is basically not, obsolete now because they didn't got these pills. And look what y'all doing. Y'all riding up and down the street. Oh, shoot him. That's Lil J-Mo. Get him. And then find out that ain't even Lil J-Mo. That was innocent bystander. Now you got people pointing a finger at you because you pulled the trigger. And if you was with him and you didn't pull the trigger, you might as well because you are accessory. Because if you didn't try to stop him at the point of that act, you're accessory. If you didn't jump out that car and say, hey, he shot this person, not being a snitch or the trick, but trying to save yourself. Because when y'all all go to jail, they putting y'all in separate situations. And you on your own. You feel me? And I shouldn't be talking to no grown person like this. But I had to talk to my people because if we don't throw this on the table, everybody gonna just be doing their average Joe. And you know what? You pray for the best. Because tomorrow is not promised you. You could walk out your Joe and somebody shoot you. Shoot me. Because they mad. People are harboring old things that y'all been through when y'all was kid, and they still harboring that. So now they got a chance to get you. Now they want to get their lick back. That's how we used to say it, back in the day. Get their lick back. It's been 14, 15, 20 years. You want to get your lick back, and you supposed to be grown. That means you never grown mentally, because you supposed to took that and use it as a example, and you teach off of that. If it didn't kill you, it make you stronger. If it didn't take nothing, it must have hurt your manhood or your womanhood because you're still harboring off of old things that happened back in the day. Because that means your mentality is stuck there. You can't go nowhere else. I know grown folks damn near 47 years old, ain't never been to Navy Pier, ain't never went to White Sox Park, ain't never went to Shed Aquarium, and you live right there in the hood, 10 minutes away from this place. Never walked down Lakeshore Drive on the boardwalk. Never went down on the Riverwalk. Only thing you know is the block and what Lil J-Mo did over there. And y'all gossiping about what happened on the block. Mind your business. Because you talk too much, something might come in your face. Because they're going to say you said it. Because somebody that you talking to put your name out there. And it's all a lie. Take it from a brother that know. Do you know how many times? So, hey, I just want to put that on y'all mind, man. This Ace the Real IntellectualRadio.com. Y'all know y'all can hit me up on Aaron4255@gmail.com or just call me on Facebook. So I'm out of here, and I want y'all to always remember, love each other, teach each other, embrace each other. I'm Ace the Real IntellectualRadio.com.